of the COVID-19. So let's get that straight so everybody understands. But now I want to talk about the testing. What are the implications of being tested by the conventional method of testing, the very invasive way when they insert the nasal swab all the way back into the nasal turbinate? What are the implications about that? So I want to show you a few things first. Now, when you test for COVID-19, the speculum is inserted all the way back into the nares, into the posterior portion of the turbinate. And it's supposed to go back as deep as they can, and that's where the specimen is supposed to be collected. Now, the problem is this. The reason the recommendation of the face mask is because you can cough, sneeze, spit, and actually supposedly infect somebody else. But if that was the case, then why not just spit into a cup? Why do you have to take a speculum and insert it all the way back into the posterior portion of the nasopharynx? Why is that? Why do you have to push it all the way back into the nasal turbinate? It doesn't make any sense. But here's what's really interesting. If you look at the anatomy, and you can see that this is where the speculum is being inserted to, if you really understand where the cribriform plate is, the cribriform plate is actually an area that is very, very porous, and this is the whole cribriform plate, and this is where actually the olfactory nerves come through. And when they insert that speculum in here, it's inserted all the way back, which is very, very close to the brain now, and there's a twisting motion that's utilized when the speculum is inserted into the nasal turbinate, all the way back in, and then it's twisted. Now, what's interesting is something that I recently had a friend of mine share with me. I have to just read this to you guys so you can see it. There was a physician, this friend of mine, sent me this message and said, I recall a doctor a number of years ago who spent time removing CIA implants that altered the brainwaves, injected thoughts, and drove people mad that had them. The implants were microscopic in nature and placed at the base of the brain. They had been implanted by using long swabs that they stuck deep into the sinus cavity and twisted. This is the exact same method that's being used currently for the testing process. Now, in case that you think I may be losing my mind, I want to show you a couple of articles that go back a few years. Let's just start off with one of the most recent ones about a year and a half ago, as published in Life Science. And this is regarding the government being serious about creating mind control weapons. And this is from May 23rd, 2019, so about a year and a half ago. And it's talking about how DARPA, the Department of Defense Research Arm, is paying scientists to invent ways to instantly read soldiers' minds using tools like genetic engineering of the human brain, nanotechnology, and infrared beams. The end goal, thought-controlled weapons. Now, this isn't something recent. This goes back quite a few years. This is an article that came out 14 years ago. So this was December 12, 2007, regarding secret military nanotechnology development. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of details. I'm not trying to paint a picture that is controversial. I'm just trying to show you some facts, and those facts are very, very simple.
I wanted to show you guys something. I got a couple tests, a couple COVID tests from a friend. Do you see the COVID test says tip wrapped with traditional fiber? Do you see that silver? That's a silver color. There we go. See how that's silver? There's a regular cotton Q-tip. That one's white. This swab right here is a legit COVID test, and I broke it down. These are nanoparticles. These particles are alive and they move. I just broke it down here. I'm going to pull it down, pull some. That's the silver fiber. That's what's the COVID Q-tip. It's shiny, it's silver, and they're alive. Right here, they don't even want to let go. See, it's stuck on. That's not cotton. This is cotton. This is the COVID. This is a regular Q-tip. See, the regular Q-tip, it's not shiny at all. It's white. Put it next to that. You see the difference in material? One's shiny, one's cotton. This is cotton. Them are your nanoparticles. These are all the silver strings. You guys better leave them damn tests alone. That's what you better do. because they're not doing chipping. Absolutely not. They're putting nanoparticles right into your head. These are silver fibers. It's not cotton. This is what the COVID Q-tip test is. You see that one down there alive? They do their own thing. Look, he's trying to grab it. This is what they put in the head. This is their COVID test. They're putting this shit right in the brain.
Trying to grab it.
Close to the brain.
Look.
See him? So you guys think I'm lying? I'm showing you live.
We ain't even breathing on it, and it's fucking moving.
Holy shit, they really are alive. Look at how they're fighting each
Look
other.
at this one. Look.
Oh, they got a link. Now let me see if I can pull them. This is the COVID test. Oh, hell
It
no.
just wrapped
This
around
is
that other one.
wild. This is so wild, y'all. I can't believe y'all let these people put these Q-tips in your guys' head.
No one really thinks that he could actually do that, or that the military would follow through with an order like that. But that doesn't mean that the president's not going to go through some machinations over the coming days and entertain some of these ideas, even after Congress has taken this step, which is seen by many around the president, including people who President Trump prides
Bye.
himself as a business.
We need to be aware that nanotechnology and the utilization of nanotechnology with the Department of Defense, i.e. the CIA, has been going on for a number of years, over a decade and a half minimum. And we also know that the way that they inserted those particular nanotechnology components was with a speculum into the deep recesses of the nasal turbinate, and then with a twisting motion, they were introduced into the system. Now, I wasn't part of this. This is what I have been made aware of. This is what I have read about. And this was something that I was concerned about way back in April and May when I first started talking about this. The issue is that this is the same mechanism that's being utilized to test people for the coronavirus right now. And if we're really concerned about the coronavirus, and that's the reason that we're wearing masks so people don't spit and spread the virus, then why aren't we just using a buccal swab, inside the mouth swab, or a sample of saliva? Why are we taking this invasive turbinate process? Why are we taking a speculum and introducing it way back into the back of the nasopharynx? It doesn't make any sense. Now, I want you to hear the following video that was an interview with the Israeli News, and I want you to hear what this doctor says.
Do you believe that this mRNA vaccine is going to genetically modify
Yes, it will. The mRNA will actually take a piece of your DNA out. It will replace it with a synthetic one and a synthetic piece. And they can do it anywhere they want in your whole DNA mechanism. So, who knows what they're going to modify about you. But that also makes you patentable.
That's right.
They can own you. And let me tell you, they've already started the vaccinations. They've already started them. They started them a long time ago because the test vaccinates you.
So
I have the article right here in front of me, and here's what it says. Yes, they can vaccinate us through the nasal test swabs and target the brain. Now, here's the thing. As a doctor, I said, this is crazy because, you see, you're wearing a mask to cover now they would hate it. They would not allow you into a store if you just wear a mask over your nose. You got to wear it over your mouth because supposedly the COVID-19 is in your saliva. Well, if it's in your saliva, then all they have to do is swab the inside of your mouth like they do for a DNA test. But no, they take these long Q-tips and they stick them all the way back almost into your brain. They stick them back to the back of the nasal sinuses and then they twist them. All right, here's what they're doing. First of all, there is a very thin plate of bone that covers the brain between the brain and the nasal sinus, and it's called the cribriform plate. And every doctor knows about the cribriform plate. All right, now the cribriform plate has some openings in it where olfactory nerves from the nose go through that plate into the brain, and bone, this kind of bone in the cribriform plate is porous anyway, so substances can go through it. So when they take that swab and they put it back there and twist it, what they're doing is depositing things back there. This, you can't see this, but this shows that they have nanoparticles that are actually on the ends of the Q-tips that they're putting in there that can get into your brain. They can be hooked up to the cloud. So they are already vaccinating you with the test. With the test. This is the beginning. So when you go to get tested, you are actually being vaccinated and implanted with nanoparticles.